Well, hello. I'm Ursula, and I'm here with my good friend and founding partner of BEabove Leadership, Anne. And we are wanting to talk about something that has caught our interest, and we wanna unpack this today, and we hope that you are enjoying this. So, what are we talking about today? Well, we are talking about when our barns burn down.
So some of you might be familiar with this. This is from Mizuta Masahide, a 17th century Japanese poet and samurai who wrote, "My barn having burned down, I can now see the moon."
Mm.
And this actually literally happened to me, or maybe not quite literally, but something very close to it happened to me. I lost a number of trees to a bark beetle infestation, and it was absolutely heartbreaking and expensive. And then I realized with the trees gone in a certain part of my land, I now had a view of the mountains from my living room.
And of course, you wouldn't have just cut down the trees just so you get a view, but having been at your house, the view is awesome.
It really is, totally. But trees first. And still, who knew that was there? So,
Right. So really, what we want to do is we want to talk about when the unexpected, unplanned, and unwelcome happens, as it does in all of our lives from time to time.
yeah, it's really part of being human that you're going to have unexpected, unplanned, and unwelcome things.
Yes.
So, and it's really, really real for me right now. As you know, Ursula, I've been facing some serious health issues, and I've had difficulty explaining to people how I really feel about it. Now, I'm sharing this not for sympathy or for anyone to worry about me. I'm sharing because it's really been an interesting learning. And I want to let everybody know also, I'm in a good process of treatment. I'm being taken care of very well.
And it's really apropos because the world really tends to want to put things in buckets. It's either good or bad. It's a good container, it's a bad container.
Right.
And I have noticed you don't want to do that.
I don't. It doesn't feel right to me. I believe that if we're conscious and awake, this kind of barn burning puts us in a paradox. On the one hand, speak for myself, I didn't want it, I didn't plan it. On the other hand, it's really interesting and there are gifts along the journey.
Mm. This reminds me of this lovely poem by Emily Pearl Kingsley about a trip to Italy, planning a trip to Italy and ending up in Holland. She used this metaphor, so it's a metaphor, and about having a child with disability. And we're going to link this poem in the notes for this video so you can also have it.
Yeah, it's such a powerful way of looking at these unplanned and unexpected occurrences. And while many of our challenges are complex and layered and difficult in ways we never imagined, I think this metaphor of thinking you're going to Italy and getting off the plane and being in Holland is really interesting. And it's personally been really helpful to me as I've navigated my barn burning, just to mix both metaphors for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It points to that even though you may grieve or you're frustrated or anxious that you wanted to get to Italy, but you still can appreciate that you ended up somewhere else, that you ended up in Holland. If you take that view of things and you stop obsessing about why you're not in Italy.
Well, and I think especially as she quite nicely mentions in the poem, if everybody else is going to Italy and coming back from Italy, and Italy's so great, and you're in Holland.
Right, right. And you're sort of stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is a big part of it. When we compare where we are to where everyone else is, we may feel we are somehow wrong because we're in Holland and not in Italy. What are we missing?
Right. Well, so to bring this home for me, I have described the health challenges I'm on that I'm having as I'm going to try that again. Do you want to just make a quick note?
Yep, hold on. Okay, redo.
So, to bring this home, for me, I have described the health challenges I'm having as part of my journey,
Mhm.
and therefore not really good or bad. The only way I know to talk about it is that there is an isness to it, a reality to it. And I am meeting that with all the patience and tools and support that I can.
Yeah, and who knows what will come out of it? What views you might not have been aware of that you can now see.
Exactly. And, I give myself, even in that isness perspective, I give myself permission to be sad or angry or hopeless about it at times when that's authentic for me. Some
Mhm.
of these barn burnings and these trips that we get sent on can be really hard.
Yeah, great point. We don't want to give the impression here that we should all just say, oh, okay, to everything. Living as a human being doesn't really lend itself to these one-liners for advice.
Absolutely. If it did, if all we needed were the little, sound bites and one-liners and memes, we'd all be in much better shape emotionally.
Absolutely. So, what advice would you have for someone facing a barn burning or finding themselves in Holland instead of Italy?
Oh, it's a good question. Um, I think I probably wouldn't give advice,
Mm,
maybe, because I'm really aware of that more
yeah.
so than I've ever been, that everyone has their own process and their own timing. But I might share my own perspective, which
Hmm.
is while I did not plan on this happening or want it to happen, here I am. Now what?
Yeah.
I can't magic it away. So I have to find a way to integrate the truth of the situation and be present with that. And for me, I don't see much point in complaining that I'm in Holland and not Italy. Instead, I just want to see what Holland has to offer.
Mm. Well, and being married to a Dutchman, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. He would say Holland offers salty licorice and canals and,
And nasi goreng.
exactly. What advice would you have?
Well, I've had a number of barn burnings and trips to Holland myself over the years, and had wished I wasn't in Holland, but in Italy for sure. I think it is okay and normal to be freaked out at first. I certainly was. And no one can or should tell you what your timeline should be. But maybe making a placeholder for that there are gifts to where you find yourself, even if you don't yet know what they are, even if you're not clear about that, is just having this little placeholder of wondering and pondering and being curious about, I wonder if there's a gift.
Yeah, I love that. And I love the word placeholder. It's because that really, really resonates for me. We can't always see the view of the moon, as in
Mm,
the poem from the samurai, when the barn burns down.
yeah.
Sometimes, and I think even often, it's going to be a while before we notice. And that
Hmm.
was really, that's so true for me in this
Yeah.
process. But even early on, when I first got a diagnosis, I did have a kind of placeholder around, okay, this experience will have a bigger purpose and meaning, and I don't know what that is right now. I don't have to know that is right now. I'm just going to bookmark it.
Yeah. And I feel like that was really, really critical for your mental health.
Was, is, and I think always will be.
You have been very patient and very present and very curious about this barn burning journey. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this video if it resonated.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye bye.